everybody. This is Shefali Chopra, your storyteller. Today I'm here with a fantastic guest with us. Well, she really does not need any introduction. She owns many hats. She's Chanchal Batsiwal. She's an entrepreneur, she's a yoga expert, a knowledge service, and a business research expert. She's into sustainable fashion. That's very interesting. She's also an expert for Garbha Samskar. There are many more facets to her. We will unfold one by one. And of course, she's a founder of Bringing Art to Life, which we are going to discuss about. She's also a founder of Eka Yoga. So these are some of the aspects that we are going to talk about. I welcome you, Chanchal, on our show.
Thank you so much, Shefali. Thank you for that wonderful, introduction. Sometimes when you're hearing, you realize what is it that you do. When you're doing it, you don't really realize it, but only when you hear it, you're like, oh, do I? But thank you so much. It's wonderful to be with you, and thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. You know, Chanchal, when I read about you and when I got to know about you, I was very intrigued. There is something about you which is so special. First of all, I must compliment you on your this gorgeous, everlasting smile that's
Thank
perpetually
you
with
so
you.
much. Thank you so much.
What's the secret? I have to know that, and so does everybody else want to know that.
Um, I think just taking every moment and living every moment, not trying to, uh, you know, hold the baggage for too long, shedding it as soon as you can so that you can live in the moment. And when you're living in the moment, it's easier to smile. When there's less baggage, it is easier to be in the moment.
That's beautiful. When we're talking about now, you know, a lot of people do talk about past and future, but actually the beauty of all of us lies in the present moment, and that's why it's like a gift, right?
Yeah.
uh, you know, one thing that keeps crossing my mind is, Chantal, you're an entrepreneur, and then there is a part of you which is so mystique. You know, it all talks about yoga and samskara, which is a very rare combination. You know, there are a lot of people who only focus on a very different kind of thing, which is only business, but here you are actually focusing on life, if I may say. You know, whether it's your designs, and I have seen your saris, whether it's your design on those gorgeous saris, whether it's you or the way you speak about yourself, or you generally speak, I think you're very conscious of what you do. And obviously, it's not a thing that you achieved in one day, it has been a process. And if I'm not mistaken, Chanchal, the business that you started is almost like 8 years ago, and a few months, maybe like 10 months old. So, I
Yeah.
mean, there has to be a consistent effort that you have been putting in. तो आप हमको ये बताइए, ऐसा तो नहीं है when you were little, when you were young and you said, no, I want to be a designer. Was it like that?
No, it wasn't. In fact, I did my master's, I did my MBA in marketing, and I worked with corporates for almost a decade. And only after that, I realized it was time to do something which was genuinely touching my heart, which was genuinely touching others' heart. And that's when the journey of Chanchal bringing art to life, and that's the brand we have started back in 2014. It was a very conscious decision, like you said, nothing that came up in just one day. It required a lot of research. It required a lot of traveling. It required a very honest connect with the artisans and the weaving community. And that can only happen when you share a space with them which is very private. That means you sit with them in their loom areas. You sit with them and you break bread with them and you create like a family with them, right? It's an extension of you where you want to create something which is unique, which is extremely rooted in our culture, and at the same time, very, very unique and modern in nature. Because unlike, when we live in the city, one of the things we have to be very conscious whenever we're creating a product or a service. It has to touch people who live here. So when you bring something from the hinterland and when you give it here out in the modern world, there has to be a bridge that needs to be gapped. And that's a very conscious bridge that our brand tries to kind of bridge. It's a beautiful gap that we're trying to bridge by creating something which is very modern in the sensibility, but at the same time very very rooted in the making. It's extremely authentic, comes from the place which is extremely conscious and very very loving. So that's what we are trying to do. And yes, it takes a lot of effort, but I guess when you like to do something, you kind of okay to put that effort, right? I'm sure this beautiful thing that you do, telling beautiful stories, that takes a lot of effort. So I guess it's the same. We try to do what we love to do in the best way we can.
Absolutely. And it reflects in your work. I can see in your designs. And, what you beautifully said is today people are very modern in their thinking, yet you are reviving a certain amount of art. And of course, it requires a lot of study. उसके बिना नहीं होता है. And, detailed study. And what I liked about when you were speaking to us was where you said you break the bread with the people in the loom, in that room together. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think जब आप लोगों को समझ लो हम सब एक हैं और हम एक जैसे हैं, हमारी सोच ऐसी है, सिर्फ ये फ़र्क है कि मैं काम करवा रहा हूँ और आप काम कर रहे हैं और मैं आपके काम की इज़्ज़त करता हूँ या इज़्ज़त करती हूँ. I think that makes all the difference. And you're also a state president of Karnataka Handloom Council, Women India Chambers of Commerce and Industry. So reaching that position is not easy. And you've been a mentor to so many women entrepreneurs based from home. There are a lot of people who actually admire you for the kind of work you're doing. I think one thing that I can see through the screen is you're being very grounded. And why I picked up on this aspect, Chanchal, is that I want you to talk to us about people being grounded. आप जिंदगी में बहुत कुछ कर लेते हो, but there is something that keeps us down there, and I think I really want you to tell us about it.
Okay, that's a very interesting question and a very very emotional one. Grounding is not something that came to me very easily. The reason my name is Chanchal is because my mother tells me that my dadi gave me my name Chanchal because I was an extremely energetic child, somebody who's just moving all the time. So that's what Chanchal means, something that keeps
I
moving, right?
move. Yeah.
So from Chanchal to something where somebody can tell me that I'm grounded. It's been a long journey. It's been a journey of going within, trying to understand what makes me restless, what makes me impatient, what makes me lose my temper, and how do I find my grounding within instead of looking at people or circumstances. There came a time in life when I realized that I think it's very easy to say, oh, that person didn't do what I expected him to do or her to do. Or, this situation, I just can't deal with this. It's very, very easy to do that. But what takes effort and what is important is to be able to go within and find answers to those situations where you think you are not in control. Because it's
Wow.
not about being in control of the situation, it is about
Correct.
being in control of your own self. And the
Absolutely.
moment you find that comfort within your system, within your mind, your heart, accepting your own vulnerabilities, accepting the unpredictability of life, there comes a balance somewhere where you say, okay, I can't control everything and I don't even want to. But the only thing I would like to control is how I respond to situations, to people. And that understanding isn't easy to come, especially when we are working with corporates, when where competition is the essence of your working every day, right? You're competing within your team, you're competing with other organizations, you're always trying to do something which is ahead of somebody else. So when you live in a world which is always competing with somebody, it's very, very difficult to go within,
Yeah.
right? So
True.
it took me a pause. It took a long pause for me to say, okay, you know what, this is not how it can keep going. There has to be a better way to do things. There has to be a better way to manage myself. And that's where the journey of yoga came into the play. It came into the picture. And I am so thankful that I got that time to pause, to reflect, to
Wow.
understand, and to go within and do that bits and pieces each and every day to reach a level where you say, okay, now I'm very comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with the way I look. I am comfortable with the way I speak. I'm comfortable with the way what I know and what I don't know. And it's absolutely fine to say, this is what I know, this is what I don't. And I'm ready to learn more.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a journey.
It's very interesting that you said this, Chanchal. I think the beauty lies in going inside, and then the outside can be taken care of. And what I understood is that acceptance. I think the day you decide कि मैं ऐसा हूँ और मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ, I think जिंदगी बहुत सरल हो जाती है, आसान हो जाती है, easy हो जाती है, and we
बिल्कुल.
don't even realize it's a journey. Of course, it's a process. You have to put your mind into it. It is not about watching other people's progress or their things and realizing, oh, maybe this is the kind of life I want, and that's where people mess up. Only
Hmm,
when you look into your own self and you realize that you're a unique being. That's why I always end up telling people that no, there is no extraordinary outside. The extraordinary is within you. It's just that you need to tap that extra out of you.
absolutely.
And
I agree.
I think it's very important that people should focus on this. One thing that constantly comes into my mind is that when we talk about fashion or we talk about yoga, both things, why is it, Chanchal, that it is not easy for us to accept our own roots and accept our own kind of fabrics and designs, and you know what I mean. And it's
Yeah.
when only when the West starts to appreciate us, we start to say, oh wow, this is great, I think I should wear ikat and I should wear tasar and I should wear these local kind of things. Wow, what is the real reason? I mean, I can't for the mind of my own for my own sake, I cannot believe it that हम लोग इंडिया में जीन्स पहनते हैं, वो भी टाइट टाइट वाले जीन्स पहनते हैं, जहाँ इतनी गर्मी बरस रही होती है, लाइक sometimes especially
Yeah.
it's like close to 48 degrees. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
I am sorry all those women out there who are watching us. I don't mean to say anything, but I really need to get into your mind. I mean, how does it make you comfortable is beyond my thought line. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a fabric that does not really let you breathe, and there are much better fabrics. So, what is the reason, Chanchal, that we are so crazy about following the West and getting it back to India?
As per my understanding, and I could be wrong or I could be limited in my understanding, but here is what I have understood in my research. I like to call it the hangover of our colonialism.
Okay.
I feel that the 200 years when we were literally shaken, stirred, broken, we were uprooted from our roots, right? And when
Right.
you do this to anybody for as long as we were going through that journey, I mean, for the long, long period of colonialism, right? It's
Yes.
very difficult to say you will change back to where you were. I don't think it can ever go back to where we were, and that's also not the intention. The
Yeah.
idea is to move ahead, but at the same time, not forget the beauty of what we were and
Yeah.
how can we assimilate what we were into what we want to be, including
Well,
where we are. It's very important to take our past into our present in such a way that the future looks beautiful. But right now, I think we are in a, I like to call it, we are in a transition period. We are still trying to find ourselves. We are still trying to find our root, our foundation. Let me take a simple example. I remember when you were asking me a couple of weeks back when we had our first call, and you said, Chanchal, where are you from? And I'm
Yeah.
always thinking that where are we actually from? I
Yeah.
my ancestors, I mean my parents, they were born at a certain place. My grandparents were born at a certain place, and I'm living at a very different place. Who are we? I think we're still trying to figure out who we are,
Yeah.
as a culture, as people, as just individuals. And until we find our grounding, our foundation, we will continue to get influenced by whatever we like, you know. It's like a child. You keep
Yeah.
throwing frames, you keep throwing pictures, and like, oh, I like that, oh, I like
Yeah.
that. Until the child really grows up and say, oh, you know, now I know what I really like. I know what my comfort is, what my style is, what my
Very well.
language is, what my food is. You know,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think we've reached there. It's been 75, 77 years of independence, but I guess we still have a long way to reach a level where we say, okay, now I know my identity. We've kind of lost our identity in those years, and until we find ourselves, we will always be, you know, influenced by what we see outside. And why West? Because West was always, you know, something that would come and say, hey, this is what fashion is, this is what capitalism is, this is what production is, this is what industrialization is. They're always wearing the hat of, you know, the global teachers,
Yeah.
burden of a white man. And we believe that whatever they say is right, because right now we haven't found our routing, we've not found our identity. So it's very easy to feel like that. But I guess we are on the journey, and the journey has started. It's already there. I do find a lot of comfort that has started to build up,
Yeah.
a lot of ease that have started to come. It's of course not at a critical mass level, but the journey, I think, has started, has commenced, and hopefully, whatever time we will reach a level where we will be very, very proud of our identity, or what we bring to the table, to the universal table, to the world. And until we do that, those frictions will keep happening. We will keep struggling between what we want to wear, what do we have in our country,
Yeah.
how do we look, what do we want to eat. I think we'll go through that period.
Very well said. I think you said it in a very simple way and yet very profound. We are still looking for our own selves. And of course, as time will progress, we will probably get to know much better of already what we know. So that is beautiful. In fact, people, I must tell you that she's also got a People Stage Award for Social Impact in 2022, and she's also a Digital Woman Award solopreneur by She the People TV and Google in 2022. So that's you can imagine the kind of work she has been doing. When you were talking about where do you really belong, I must share this with you, Chanchal. So a lot of times when people ask me where am I from, now I have discovered that I call myself Ramtaram. Ramtaram is something. I think I'm Ramtaram because I'm gathering from all places. I'm learning the new things. I'm imbibing things that I love. There are beautiful things that we are learning from different generations, from different countries, from different parts of the our own states in our own country. So I think I'm going to call myself Ramtaram. एंड वो कहते हैं ना, शुरू से शुरू करो. यहाँ पे मुझे एक कहानी याद आई है महाभारता की, which is like they say, when uh, there was a time when everything was known to somebody and everybody
Mhm,
knows who it was. वो like क्या कहते हैं, like जब गर्भ में बेबी होता है, let me explain it like that. तो तब के तब the baby is listening to everything, every little
hmm,
sound, every little thing that's happening around you. And Mahabharata has specified this. It's scientifically proven. And when I read in your profile that you're a Garb Samskara teacher, I was like, wow. Now, this is something ultimate because people do not realize this. उनको ये नहीं पता कि ये है क्या. I really
Mm,
want you to focus and emphasize on this aspect for people to learn about it, because I
mm,
think it's a very impactful thing. वो जब हम कहते हैं शुरू से शुरू करते हैं, that is the शुरुआत for a being in the mother's womb.
right.
And I think that is
Absolutely.
when many things happen. And tell me, how did you get into it? And what do you think is the force behind the force?
Uh, so Garbh Samskar, I think, is a very profound science. It's a science of consciously birthing, consciously being pregnant, consciously going through the journey of pregnancy. It's a science of the care of the mother and the womb, the child within the womb. It's a very profound science, and I think for several centuries, that science was followed in our culture. Women were taken care of. Pregnancies didn't happen just because it just happened. They were not unplanned. They were planned pregnancy that happened through a very conscious method. And when I say method, I don't mean in literal sense. I mean people were aware that now it is the time that we would like to have a baby, and what is the process so that the baby that comes to the womb, that whole process is extremely spiritual, so that the mother and the baby, they're connected in a very spiritual way, not just in a physical sense but in a very deeper sense. And that's the science of Garbh Samskar, a relationship between the two partners and the journey of consciously uh, creating a baby.
How sweet.
And I think through, like I said, the transition period of going through these so many changes in the civilization, going through so many different, kingdoms, uh, all the knowledge, it was almost taken away from us. And now that we are in this time and day, we've kind of lost track of what we had, right? So
Yeah,
my intention was to go back to that science in whatever way and form I can go, okay, and see what is it that I can bring that can help today's women, because the number of IVF centers that have opened up in the last decade, I mean,
it's
there is
unbelievable.
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
That tells you something, right? It tells you that something is not okay, and that not okay needs to be taken care of. There'll be a lot of things that modern science can do,
yeah,
but I think there's also a lot of things that our ancient science, Ayurveda and yoga, can do.
absolutely.
And although the word that people keep using is alternate healing, alternate medicine, I don't believe in the term alternate, because I think
Right.
what is mainstream? Mainstream is what you see every day. So if you see yoga and Ayurveda every day, that will become mainstream. So
Absolutely.
I mean, not going by the standard definition, I think there's a beautiful science, and we just lost track of it. And my idea is to bring it back to the table, and see how can we help. I think help is a big word. How can we support? How can we support women who are going through this life journey, and
Wow.
what at a very ground level, just woman to woman, how can we navigate that journey together? So that's where the idea of Garbh Samskar came to me. And it's been a beautiful journey. While studying Garbh Samskar, I realized that there's just so much to it that we ignore very very easily, like you are bringing the story of Abhimanyu, right?
Yeah, Abhimanyu.
And all our stories, I mean, you go
And
back to
imagine
stories.
Abhimanyu was in the womb and he
Womb.
knew exactly कि वो चक्रव्यूह
Exactly.
को के कैसे घुसना है. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
he slept and he didn't hear the whole thing. How he can
Yes.
come out of the chakraview? Can you even
Yes.
imagine that? I mean, that's why I said it's scientifically there. It's in
Absolutely.
the book.
Absolutely. In fact, there's just so much in Mahabharata. Even when you talk about Kauravas, right? We say there were hundred of Kauravas, and
Yeah,
we know that that birth was not natural birth.
of
If you
course.
go back to the story, and then you realize, oh, okay, maybe what we are calling today the, I'm forgetting the name. What is the name? The test tube babies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you go back and you
We
correlate, you
don't
think,
know. They were
okay,
probably much ahead of
yes,
us.
much ahead,
Much ahead
absolutely.
of
I
us.
mean, exactly. How can you
Right.
have 100 babies? It is. it is just not possible for a woman. So if we really
yeah,
look at it, we realize, okay, there was some form of science
yeah,
of creating babies, which was
yeah,
not just in the womb of the mother, but
yeah,
outside
of
of the
course.
womb of the mother. So it's very similar to test tube birthing, right?
Yeah,
It's very similar to test tube. Of course, there is no way for us to create parallels, but if you just use your common sense, you realize, okay, there must be a science to do it. Just because we don't have access to those scientific papers, those books, and that
books.
science anymore, doesn't mean that they were not ahead of time.
No, they were
Uh,
not. वो कहते थे मन की
Absolutely.
गति से वाहन चलते हैं.
Exactly,
What
exactly.
was
Yeah,
it? I mean,
exactly.
just
Oh
think
my
about it.
God.
I mean, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. And today we think
Absolutely.
we are very modern.
Oh
And
yeah.
sometimes this is one little thing that I want to discuss with you. When I meet a lot of women, and I tell them, the young girls especially, I said, please don't get confused. Modernism does not come with clothes that you wear. It comes with your mind. you know it comes with the opening of your mind, because you have to open your mind to many more things. कपड़ों से कुछ नहीं है. कपड़ा क्या है? What is it? You may think wearing very short clothes is modernism, but I don't think so. What's your thing about that, Chanchal?
I think what people wear is to each their own, and that is something for them to decide. But the definition of being modern is extremely, I would say it's very tactical right now. It's if you read about modernization, or if you just ask people what do they mean by modern,
Yeah,
the 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 definition is very tactical, and what I mean by that is it's very surface. It's
yeah,
about how you position yourself in the way you look. And I think being modern does not mean the way you look. And again, I will go back to what you wear is your business. It is none of my
yeah, yeah,
business.
of
To
course.
each their own. You wear what you like, you eat what you like, you pray to the God who you like.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
being open in your mind to be able to
That's important.
accept what is around you, I think that is being modern. And what is modern? I think it's a word which is used in very weird context, right? But let's
Yes,
use the word being open, right? Being extremely authentic, being extremely genuine. It is about being open to all kinds of views, and then
yeah,
saying, okay, I agree to disagree, and this is what I agree with. This is what I do not agree with. I think that's
absolutely.
what I call is about being modern, where
Yeah,
you respect everyone for what they believe in, but at the
yeah,
same time, you're extremely clear what do you believe in? What are
absolutely.
your value systems? What are your belief systems? They could be different from everybody else, but you still have the authenticity to say, this is what I believe in, and I
Yeah,
respect what others believe in.
absolutely.
Although I do not believe in that, but I will respect you for everything that you do and everything that you
Yeah,
believe in, and I will support you for that, as long as we're not hurting or harming people. And that's a very different story. We're talking about it at a gender level, right? So as long as people are not harming, hurting, we must be able to respect, very authentically respect. And I don't think respect should be, compromised.
no, not at all.
And that's when you're really modern, when you know how to respect your own and others' value system, in my opinion.
I think that's absolutely bang on. I think it's very important to respect other people more than anything else. They respect their views. They may not be in tandem with whatever you believe, but I think there's a polite, there is a nice way of saying, okay, fine. They say respect the indifferences, so it's okay. You don't have to be like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you don't have to be like them, but then yeah, you just keep it at a distance and still show respect. I think that's very important. Chanchal, because you are a yoga expert, you have been in this field for quite some time now. A lot of people think yoga is for old people. This is a, yeah, a lot of people think like that, that, oh, yoga, उससे कुछ नहीं होता है, कुछ नहीं, बस थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेच हो जाएगा, आप सांस ऐसे करोगे, कुछ नहीं होता उससे. आई वांट यू टू थ्रो सम काइंड ऑफ लाइट ऑन दिस. एंड वो कहते हैं, भैया दिमाग दिमाग की बत्ती खोलो.
It's You're right. We have a lot of misconception presumptions, assumptions about yoga. And it's very important to keep breaking those myths. And that is what I try to do with my little tiny videos. One, yoga is for everyone, I think. A lot of people come and say, Chanchal, I'm not very flexible. Can I do yoga? And my answer to them is, you don't need a flexible body to do yoga. You need a flexible mind to do
Right.
yoga,
Yeah.
right? I do not think yoga is about body. Yes, it has huge, profound impact on your physical health, but yoga is largely a spiritual practice that has
Absolutely.
very deep impact on your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual level. And only when you understand this, you realize, oh, something that I kept thinking was a barrier for me to do this practice is actually not a barrier. And why is it for old? Because people have started to believe that spirituality is for old, or 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 or, or being connected to your roots is about being old, right?
Yeah.
And then I will go back to what I said in my first, what you asked
Yeah.
me the first time. It's the hangover of our colonialization, right? We believe that being modern is going to a gym or doing practices which are not discipline oriented, where you can be uh, you know where the expression is not discipline based, whereas yoga is very disciplined practice. It requires a certain discipline of the person to be able to do yoga. And I also believe that right now I'm using the word do yoga. You never do yoga. You are either in yoga or you're not in yoga,
How
right?
beautiful.
Either you are synced completely or you're
Yeah.
not synced, right? But I guess it's a process, like everything else. Whenever we are in a transition, we go through a whole level of ups and downs. So we will go through this journey all together, and hopefully we will keep breaking these myths. I think the sooner you get into a practice which you feel you connect with the most. It could be yoga, it could be Tai Chi, it could be any other form which makes you feel comfortable with yourself. I think that's a lovely practice. It could be any practice that one connects with. For some, it is meditation. For some, it is mindfulness. For some, it is breath work. There are different names to the same thing. At the foundation, if you look at the foundation of all of this, it is yoga. We can call it whatever we want, and that's perfectly fine. That's the beauty of yoga. You can call it whatever, but if you do the practice in the disciplined way, you will still reap its benefits.
Wow.
Uh, and being open to all these ideas and being able to pick and choose what you feel connected with, and then you do it with discipline. I think that's a wonderful thing, and I hope people disassociate this correlation with the age, because I don't think age is a barrier or an entry into anything. It is
Wow.
just about finding your comfort, and whenever you're ready, I guess.
Guys, age is just a number, okay? And well, after all this conversation, there is a little glitter and drama and glamour, which I'm just going to sprinkle around. Recently, there was this movie, I'm sure most of us have watched it, called Rocky and Rani, right? Ki Kahani. And Chanchal Badsiwal's saris were worn by Shabana Azmi ji. And when I read about that post, I think of course it would have she would have been so proud. Chanchal would have been so proud, excited, and everything. I was very excited, and I was ecstatic, and I was like, wow. मैंने वापस से जाके वो सीन में साड़ी देखा, ऐसे zoom कर I'm so proud of you, Chanchal, and I'm sure it was a very emotional and a very happy moment. So, people watching us there, this is not only serious stuff. We have glamour in our, in our life and on our show. Please tell us, Chanchal, what did you feel when you saw it for the first time?
Firstly, thank you so much. I am just deeply humbled to see the amount of love we have received, and so many women who have been part of my journey through my work or through just being friends with us. They have messaged, they have called, and they have said, you know what, I went back and saw the movie again, and I think that shows immense love, and I'm eternally grateful for this love. Thank you so much. And going by what I shared on my post also, this happened 2 years back, right, when they were shooting for the movies, and
Yeah.
we sent, our sarees. And for some reason, I did not go to the theater to see, right? Also because I've just been avoiding theater since COVID. I like to be in my own comfort watching Netflix. So the movie, when it came on the OTT, I and my sister, we were watching. And I'm watching it just like any movie. And in my head, I've forgotten that, this is the same movie we worked for. And
Wow.
suddenly, the scene where Shabana Azmi, she's cooking in the kitchen and Alia is walking
Yeah,
towards her,
yeah.
and then the curtain goes off, and I'm like, hey, wait a
Oh,
minute,
I love that
I've
saree. I
seen this
love that
sari
saree.
somewhere, and then I realized, oh, it is the same sari that I had worn
Wow.
myself and then did the photo shoot in, at the time of COVID. I'm like, hey, that is our
Was
sari.
it just me? I was like, you must have gone hysterical if I was
I
if it
was
was
jumping on the bed, and my sister's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "This is our sari, dude. Can you believe it?" And
yeah,
then and on the
cool.
loop, I saw that scene over and over
Wow.
and over again, and I'm like, "Oh my
Fun.
God, I can't believe
I'm
this is
so
this
happy for you.
beautiful woman in
Yeah,
our sari, looking
yeah.
just absolutely stunning,
Absolutely
gorgeous,
gorgeous.
graceful."
Yeah.
I must
Yeah.
have watched that scene about 10 to 15 times, and then I
She
realized,
looked
okay,
very
let me make a
graceful.
video.
She really looked
It's
very
beautiful.
graceful.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
indeed. And when you know, please, guys, go order for more saris, okay?
Oh,
And
please
now,
do,
please,
please
Chanchal, you
do.
gotta tell them, okay? Where can they reach out and where can they order their saris? Please tell them.
Please visit our website www.chanchal.co.in. You can also Google us, Chanchal Bringing Art to Life on, just put it on Google and you will find our website. We have a Facebook page, we have Instagram. Follow us, message us. We'll be more than happy to help you. But yeah, everything is there on our website. You can order directly or get in touch with me on my, social profiles, and we'll be happy to assist you. And please buy, because when people buy authentic handloom, it creates a lot of difference within the weavers community. They know that their work is getting appreciated, and something which is made with so much of love and compassion, when it reaches you, you can feel the difference when you wear something which is made with so much of love, with so much of creativity, with so much of passion. Don't you want to pick up something which has a story, which has a human hand behind
Absolutely.
it, and not just which is mill made, where nobody knows how many pieces have been made, where is it going to get sold? Our weavers have been extremely excited since I've told them, that we are there in the movie, and they've been extremely excited. And the
Wow.
same happened a couple of years back when Vidya Balan wore one of her sarees while she was promoting her movie Shakuntalam. I know it made a huge impact. It made a great difference in their own confidence level, because they realize that their work of hand is loved by so many women. And I hope all you women do show your support again, not just to me, every handloom brand, a homegrown brand that is helping the weaving and the artisan community. Please go and shop from them. It makes a huge impact on the economy, on everybody's confidence level, and especially to the economy of our rural India.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kudos to all those people who are actually put in so much hard work. Every little thread counts, every weave matters. And I think at the end of the day, what are we weaving? Even we are weaving a story, right? I think
Absolutely.
weaves are very important, and so does stories. Stories are very important. Chanchal is somewhere, I am somewhere else in the world. And this is a connect, this is a weave connect, this is a story connect. This is how you weave a fabric, and this is how you weave a story. And I think just like story travels from one generation to the other, from one country to the other, from what do you say, from one era to the other. Similarly, the weaves, the fabrics, they are also growing from one state to the other. Many, couple of years ago, we were very restrictive in our minds, thinking, oh, only this is available in my state. But not any longer. We can get anything from anywhere. So I think, guys, let's go local. And local does not only mean to the area where I am. Let's go local. Let's pick up stuff which is Indian, which is beautiful, which is
Yeah.
gorgeous, and flaunt it. Flaunt it in the
Absolutely.
world. And I think the way
Absolutely.
a woman from India looks most beautiful in a sari, because that grace is so instant. It just comes from within. They don't have to do any effort. This is called effortless,
I agree.
effortless love for the for the sari, it comes so naturally, and the way when they wear it, obviously it's very, very beautiful and very graceful. Nobody can
I
do
agree.
that kind of justice to a sari than an Indian can.
I
I
agree.
I'm a
And
bit
I
biased.
so agree. There's so many countries. I mean, you go to any nation and you wear a sari, and you will be, you people will know where you are from, and
Absolutely.
the number of compliment that you get, it's just, oh, unbelievable. I was in the US for about a month, and there was this one day I was heading to the temple, and I was wearing this beautiful ikat sari, and I've just stepped out of my room, and we were in a hotel, and I've just stepped out of the room, and right from the alley to the cab that I took, every person who met me, and there were quite a few in in that time,
Yeah.
everybody was just, they just stopped, and they stopped to compliment me, and I'm like, oh my god, this is overwhelming, because when you wear something that you're most comfortable with, you don't realize how you're looking, right? You're just comfortable, but you also
Absolutely.
realize what you wear is also the identity of so many things behind you, of your culture, of your country, of your language, of the roots that you belong to. And like I said, until you are comfortable in who you are,
Yeah.
authentically, extending that identity is challenging. But the moment you are comfortable in whoever we are, and it doesn't mean that you have to wear a sari, whatever you wear,
Yeah.
if you
Whatever.
are comfortable in your identity, I think that whatever you wear, you are just a beautiful person. I mean, you wear and whatever you want, you just so authentically yourself, and that's what people get most connected with, I guess.
Absolutely. Very well said. And I think it does really matter that you got to connect with your own inner self to make a better person out of you. And of course, as time progresses, we learn and we unlearn and we relearn again. And there are times I have seen personally, there are times I love certain colors, and then suddenly I say, I think this time I want to go for blue and a gray and a white. And my mom is like, what happened? I thought pinks and peaches were your favorite. I said, yeah, but I think I must try everything. So I think
Absolutely.
people should try everything, and they should try definitely beautiful saris done by weavers who are putting so much hard work. And thank you, Chanchal, for taking out this time for us. I know time is very precious and you're really, really time constrained, but we have managed to almost go on for 47 minutes, which is quite a bit. So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching us. And in case those who are not watching us right now, they'll watch us later. So thank you for
Absolutely.
supporting this. And Storylines by Shefali Chopra always tries to get people who are very inspirational. And I really think Chanchal is very inspiring to many women out there. Thank you, Chanchal, for being you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much. Thank
so
you so
much.
much for having me.